Hello everybody, welcome to this Thursday's Tech Thursday. Still messing with this right here. What we got today is we're going to go ahead and finish, we're going to do part 2, I should say, not finish. We're going to do part 2 of making the hood hinges for the molded in parts of the body. Let's see. Thought I had everything ready and reckon I don't. Alright. Let everybody else join in here real quick. Oop. That didn't go too well. Alright. I got a new position here. Hello, Dave's Models. Now, this is going to be by request. Last week we did the Mustang, and I have Mark, Sprue Surgeon. Give me 1 second, guys. Hello. Ma'am, she is unavailable right now. She's at work. Thank you. And I decided I was going to do the other Mustang to show you guys how to do the hood hinge. And with talking with Mark, Sprue Surgeon, he had won a kit sponsored by ScaledWorld.net, Vision 124, and myself, my channel, Mr. Mini Dreams. We all got together and we were supporting the ISM live show, and the Facebook page, and they 30,000 subscribers. So what we did is we gave away a Camaro, and it got lost in the post. So I went and got 4 of these kits. So we're going to give this one away instead to Mark, the Sprue Surgeon, on behalf of all our channels at ScaledWorld.net, Vision 124, and then Mr. Mini Dreams. What we're going to do is I'm going to hinge this kit for Mark. And Mark, I've asked Mark if it's okay if I used it for my hinging subject, and yesterday, and Mark was good with that. So today we're going to hinge it this way. It still has the molded in parts that I was going to take you guys to on the second part. So remember the first part? We took the Mustang, we hinged it based on, building the firewall and making all that. And, so today we're going to go back and we're going to hinge a kit that is molded in, where all your parts are molded in. So first thing you want to do on a subject like this is you look at where you want to place your hinges. On something like this, you don't want the hinge to go through your brake booster, because that's a pretty good detailed part. And over here you have your heater box and everything. You have, see if we can't pull that up. On this car here, the molded in part is going to be, come on, focus. Right here you have your blower motor, your AC condenser, and then your heater box, and all that is right here. So one part you're going to have to cut into, because we can't use these holes here that come from Revell, because it's too close to the edge. You won't be able to get your mounting and everything. So what you do is you take your marker and you give yourself basically a point to where you want to go. So we're going to go, if you look on the top of here, it has a rubber molding around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my marks right here, right on the side of that rubber molding. Because in hindsight, that should be an even spot. I know we have to cut into some of the detail here, but it's better to have some of the detail here removed so you have a functioning hood versus right down the middle where you could be running into your engine, and you don't want that because a lot of people detail the engines and you're going to have your hoses and everything. So in reality, if we were to detail this, you'd want an AC hose coming out of there. You have a return line, and then you have heater hoses that would, in retrospect, come in here to a core support. You have your, I forgot what you call it now. No, I can't think of it. Your heater core. You'd have an out and an in the heater core. So if we was to make the hood hinges here or here, you'd have all that stuff in the way. So you got to sacrifice something. Good morning, Sheldon. Morning, Anthony. You'll have to sacrifice some detail when you have a molded in box like this. So I suggest you go to an even spot, and that way you can manipulate the heater box and blower motor on one side, and on the other side, you know, you don't get into a whole lot of other detail. Right here, the brake booster is a very big detail under an engine bay, and then your wires. So we're not going to go into the space of those. We're going to go in right here and right here. So the first thing I do is I make my marks on the body, like so. And then on my Dremel is I have, you know, I have what is a bone saw. Yes, Taylor. I have what's called a bone saw or a paper saw. It's super, super thin. And what it does is it gets a really good cut. So what I would do is, if you have a small thin piece of tape, which I'm going to be using the Yazoo tape that I got from UMP, and it's, you know, thin like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the tape. This is size 6. So what size is this? I must have got those. You gotta find the opening. That's one thing about that small tape. You gotta find the opening. I got on the... I see my buddy Pete is here. I got on the phone this morning, Pete, with George, and we was going to try to get on a live hangout chat, the hangouts, whatever those are, and I just couldn't figure it out. He was going to try to get in here and join me. So what I did here is I just took some tape I wanted to draw on both sides of the tape to give me a rough area where I want to open up the hinging. So then I take my Dremel and I'll make my cuts. I'm going to go a different way with this. I took out a diamond burr. All these bits you can get from Dremel, or you can get from a local hardware store, is where I picked most of these up. Okay, so I basically just drilled out Yeah, Mark. Don't worry about that. We can. I'll give you some. I'll make you a little detail package. But Mark was asking. Mark ain't as a prolific builder as some of us are in the community. So Mark has yet to detail an automotive build. So this right here is going to be his intro into the automotive industry of the side of builds. So he'll have questions. If anybody in the comments can, help Mark out on a question or two while I'm doing the how-tos, that would be great. We as a community, we can be, I know this is my show, my channel, but you guys are more than welcome to speak your piece, give your own opinion, because we all have our own ways of doing something. And like I was trying to say in the beginning, this might not be the best perfect way, but this is the way I do my builds. So, yeah, Mark, I'll do my best to get you a set of supplies in there. Got to get Timothy, he got to get his resin package resent too, Mark. It got lost. I sent them at the same time. That's what sucks is the postage to the UK is like, or I should say out of the country itself. Just to ship, I was going to ship John Pole some, I forgot what it was now, John. I'm going to ship John Pole some stuff, and the lady told me it was going to be $23, and I told John that was, very expensive at the point, that I needed to wait and find a better way to do it for him, and then, I shipped stuff to Paul and stuff before Mark, and yeah, when I shipped Timothy's resin, it was $14.50, and then when I shipped Mark his kit, it was $22 US, and neither package made it, and I sent them the same day, and so that right there was like $30-some. I just pissed away. I don't care about that. These guys were promised and never got it, and that's what really upsets me. Yeah, it was the flocking. That's right, John. Alright, so now you open up your holes. Like yay. And then you'll have to adjust that gap depending upon the way your width is when we build the hinge. So let's build the hinge again real quick. Remember, you take the 2 aluminum items, and then we want the 2 items for the hood, and then you want your 2 posts. Alright, so I'm going to build the hinge real quick. I should be a little bit more prepared. I was working on some other stuff this morning, trying to get Vision 124 into live chat with us, and just can't figure that Google Hangout crap. I can get in when somebody else posts a link, but for some reason I can't make my own. Where's the aluminum? Guys, Sprue Surgeon that's in here right now, he has put up a few videos today. He's redoing his hobby room, and he's switching over his brands of paints and everything like that. But Mark also has a lot of, well, he has a series of videos up on cameras, how he, you know, take good photos and good camera shots and stuff. And I know Pete at scaleworld.net, he and his wife, well, soon to be wife, they're getting married this weekend. They are into taking photography, and some stuff that Pete's wife has done is just some amazing pictures. Some of the pictures that George has done for me is just super amazing. So go over there and check out Sprue Surgeon on YouTube. He has a series of the way, you know, to do the different ways to use your settings and whatnot. I was messing around with some settings today on my camera, and I should say on my phone. So what we're going to do here, we're just building the hinge real quick, guys, like usual. Yeah, John, Mark attends a lot of the ISM stuff that I attend. He don't post as often as some of us other ones do, but when he does, it's very informative, and it'd be a great channel to watch and follow. Does some good kit reviews, and the best part is going to help some of us in the community that are afraid to get our work out there. Mark is able to explain how to do how to get the best out of your camera. So we're going to do like we did last week, guys. Just we made the side part. We're going to roll the hinge. I don't know where I got to put my, don't forget we got to put the tension on it. I didn't put the tension on it yet. Now on this one here, the other one we pinched, but this one here we're going to smash just to show you the difference in the hinge. And basically all I do is put it in my flat part of this right here. And then you squeeze it. Mark, I hope I didn't get you in trouble with Angela when I said cross-stitching was for older women. Then we're just going to roll it like we did last week. We were talking Yuval was asking about some detailing on a tank he is working on in his stowage area. And I had mentioned about using cross-stitching thread as rope material. And when I had commented it, I said cross-stitching. Yuval is not from the U.S. or the UK, so his English is a little rougher. So to explain it to him, I said cross-stitching was something old women did to make pictures. And Mark's wife does some very nice cross-stitching. She did a Santa Claus, and it has all the kids' names in the list and everything. It is just some beautiful work. But I made this stupid comment that it's something old women do. But yet here it is. I'm a 42-year-old man. I'm a 42-year-old man that has a whole bag of it for other items. So, you know, what's that saying about myself? Alright, so now you take your ruler. We're going to make the hinge length. Like I said, I like to go about 1 inch just to give me room to play with. And this brass stuff is fairly cheap. And the small bits that you waste, you know, you can use somewhere else. So we made the one hinge. Now what you have to do on this one now is you have to feed it through there. And you have to, before you mount it, you have to see where, you know, you still, if this was in the up position, you notice that it's still not going down. So, like, there's where you measure how far out that you think you want to cut. So, usually I just go in there. I just got a regular Excel saw blade in here. And I'm trying to keep as much as the engine detail as I can. Another good channel, guys, I want to talk about is High Altitude. He just did, that's going to be Brett. And he's been doing some kit reviews. Very good builder. Very understanding, easy to follow YouTube guy when he comes to doing reviews. So go over there and check out Brett's channel. He just posted a review today of the older AMT 53 Ford pickup. So then you got a lot of test fitting when you guys do this. So you see I opened it up, and you know you still got to go in there and, you know, test fitting. You test. Because the first thing you want to do, you want to get the best clearance you can. And then if you think you went too far on the cut, you can always add plastic back in there and refill it up. Mark had made a comment this morning too on his latest video that they put some copyright infringements over some of the music, and I just don't understand that, because there's tons and tons of people that are taking songs and they sing them, and YouTube lets them, you know, sing the songs. I don't understand why they're worried about what we're using as intros or in anything like that. So that's just a crock if you ask me. But I've been subject to the same thing. I had some Neil Young music that I really liked, and they copyrighted it too. over here, and it says some videos could be seen, some couldn't, and it's just it's a big mess. I don't know. I'm thinking once we can hear it on the radio, or if it's a background music or something, that it should be allowed. It wouldn't be like Mark was trying to say, hey, this is a mix album I want to sell, or something like that. You know, we don't profit from the music. So it sucks that Mark has to remove a lot of his content just for the fact that, you know, monetizations and what have you. Don't look like I got you guys in a very good camera angle. So I'm going to try to do that. And right now we're cutting the hole. We're getting the hinge to where it would be able to be in there and move freely. So that's what we're doing right now. So once I got that hole cut and it's free, you can always go back in here and clean up all this plastic by adding plastic. Like Sheldon and I had been talking before, we all have a stock of plastic, so we can go in there and clean that up. So we could clean that up, and that hole don't have to be that big. But that was my starting point, because you have to have a starting point when you have inner fenders and all that stuff molded in. So now that we have that looking decent, let's build our second hinge. George had made a comment this morning. I was talking to him on the phone, Vision 124. Talking to him on the phone. Really good friend of mine. He had mentioned that my videos are a little long, but they're informative. Is it easier for you guys to follow along if it was, say, a shorter time frame, or do you like me just going about and doing whatever, and it takes however long it takes? Thanks, Clifton. Yeah, I just, you know, it is, I can read Fallout after I stop the live feed. It gives me a call out of how many people attended, how many comments, and about the link that everybody stays within how do they put it? The duration of the time that most people stick around, and it's been about the 20-minute mark that people seem to, you know, start leaving. And now you have to do the same for both sides. You put your hinge in there. Once you make the hinge, you put your hinge in there, and you got to see where your clearance is. So we need to go down a little further on this one. Like the ISM guys on their Tuesday and Friday shows. I hope you guys have a chance to go check them out. I attend every show, really like it. They're very informative over there too. Great bunch of friends. But like he'll say, it's best to have people involved in the hobby following us, so that way you guys can learn, ask your questions, versus just taking up space. So I hope that what I'm doing for you guys is helpful, and I'm not just one of these guys out here taking up space. So once the hinge is in there and everything is clean, you got to get yourself to a point. See if you guys can see that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to glue that into place right there. So let's get that out. And again, I'm using the BSI super glue. Whoa, it moved on me. Then we're using the BSI Instant Set. So then once you get all that into place, you go back up and what the hell? There it goes. You go back up, you make sure your hinge is turning. Make sure your hinge is turning. And then the difference between this and the other one is I've told you guys not to adjust these until you get it to the hood. But since we're closed in here and you won't be able to get to your hinge as easy as the other side, this is when you want to start getting your hinge angled and together for that side. You know, you want to make sure you have a good even space that way and that your hinge is somewhat even. And this is why I like to use brass instead of, like, you see people with the paper clips and what have you. I can already tell right now on this one here that we're still hitting the heater box. So what I would do, let's see if we can adjust that hinge there for you, Mark. So what we're going to do is you can either file that down with the file, and here's my files, or you can cut it away and add plastic on the back side of it if need be. And it looks like on a body style like this, it looks like in order to get my clearance, I'm going to go ahead and just cut that off, and then I'll build a box underneath. And that's why dealing with the inside, that's why I wanted to give you guys, show you guys how, you know, we do stuff like this, because just doing a hinge sometimes involves more work. Where'd my knife go? You guys still following? All right. So right there. So what because I know we're going to have the hinge box and everything, so I removed all that so that way that can go in there. Where'd my other hinge box go? Alright, so let's get two that are the right size. Get two that are good size. I will admit this to you guys. I took my wife to the movies last night. We went and watched she's a huge Disney fan, so we went and watched the Beauty and the Beast, and I thought it was a pretty good movie. Lots and lots of singing in it, but I liked the special effects and everything, and I liked it. It held my attention. And plus, I got to do a night out with just me and the wife, no kiddos. That's always great. So, now, we cleaned up the box hinges. Then I open that up. Make sure it slides free before you glue it, that it slides free on your hinge, like we did last time. Alright, yeah, and see the hole we cut there? The box hinge is going to fit right through there, just like that. So that's why when we do all this, you can't do this from underside, so you have to do all this first. And then let's see. This was a brand new kit, Mark. I'll have to open up stuff to get to it, but so we'll do this. Always clean up your parts first, so that way you get the truest fit that you can out of everything. And then you'll have to remove these nips. So let's see. What were we talking about yesterday too with the ISM guys was different cutters. They were talking about different sprue cutters. These right here are nail cutters that I got from the dollar store that work pretty good, but they're not the best. They work pretty good for me, but these guys were talking about Xeron cutters and and stuff like that, and having a good set of cutters on your bench, guys, is a pretty good tool to be invested in. So you cut your nibs off to get you your flattest you can possible, and then you go in there and you look and make sure that everything is even, and then you look underneath to see where you're at, and you should be able to tell if your hinge is bent or not. I mean, not bent, but like at a good angle. And if you can see here, if I could show you guys that here, see how that, come on, focus. See how the hinge is a little off the back right there? You have to do some adjusting to those hinges, because if you glue that now, that ain't going to be a very good hinge spot. You got to, tweak these now, because you don't have the option to do that under the hood. So what I do is I just take the same needle nose that I have before, and I just go in there and take it and bend it down some more. Then I go back under there and I look. And now you can see that the hinge itself will set flat on the hood on both sides. Alright, so at this point you're ready to put your glue on. Now, I would recommend you do your glue with a toothpick, and you place them on to the box hinge. Easier to make straight. It's kind of hard to get them straight now. So what you do is you straighten them up before you glue the hood on. So we'll give that a minute to soak in. And let that set. Because even though this is molded in, again, I'm using the UMP sanders. There was some videos posted and comments made about don't just go off what we say, and that's, you know, one thing I wanted to say before I started this. I'm using the tools that best suits my needs, to my liking, and I'm doing the steps here that work best for me and the type of builds that I do. You guys will do your own building. You guys will find your own tools and your own ways that work for you. I'm just giving you guys tips and information about how I do it. So with the interior bucket in, with the chassis in, everything's cut and hood is hinged, and everything is working. There you guys go, get back in camera. So it's basically that easy. Thanks, Clifton. All right, now the next thing I want to talk to about today, because I knew this right here wouldn't take very long. It took longer because of the way you have to clean up. And all this gap here is necessary, but you can get it cleaned up by building an undercarriage box and all that, and you can fill in with little sheets of styrene in there to get that cleaned up for you. The other thing I wanted to talk about is scribing. When we get stuff from the company, this is a fresh kit from Revell. The kit was issued last year, 2016. We waited years and years for this kit, and then, you know, you get your naysayers that pick it apart, that this pillar wasn't right, or this, that, the other. I'm happy that we got a G-Body Cutlass kit instead of the same old Monte Carlo and Regal that was produced every year. I hope you're lying, Butch, but thank you for the support. Now, like I was saying, we all have our own different ways of doing stuff. Butch has an awesome, sick way of hinging his doors on his roll cage when he builds his pro street and pro touring cars. Some of the best chassis I've ever seen in the hobby come off of a Full Throttle Customs bench. But when we get some of these kits, sometimes they're shallow. So scribing, what scribing is when you open the lines up. You can do it with the back of the number 11 blade, but then you have to be very careful. You have to make sure you're using a sharp blade, and if you mess up, you could go on either side of the body, you know. So they have other tools that are made for scribing. You have a point like this, if you guys can see this. They have a point like this, but as you scribe this with this point, instead of just scribing and making the plastic deeper, you're also widening it. So you have to watch what you do. What I have made, and it comes from Tom over there at Scale Productions. I took an automatic pencil, I took a straight pen and cut the head off, and I put the automatic pencil in there. See if you guys can't see that. And then I use that. It's easily controlled, and you can get in there and scribe. Now, it takes some time, but it will get you a deeper line It gives you a deeper line to give you a more of an adjustment, and you can use it to cut open, and you can use it and it will cut open all this. So what I'm going to do today, since that's going to Mark, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how easy scribing. Can you guys see that in the camera? Let me move forward. I got a lot of crap on my desk. You can just keep, when you scribe, you just keep going over and over and over, and you'll see the plastic come up. Some people will talk about thread. Some people have used a hot knife. You know, just it's what works best for you. And I like this scribing part because I can just go back and forth. It's easily controlled. My hands ain't hurting. And you can see the plastic coming up. Let's see if I can't get that to you guys. You can see, focus. You can see it removing the plastic small at a time. And just those few passes, see how much deeper that back window area got? So you don't have to open a vehicle to make it look like it's got the functioning parts. You can just scribe over and over and over, and you can see the plastic coming up. And what that does, that gives you a better panel line, not only to detail, but if you're paint and you use a high solid paint like a 2K clear or something, you're not going to lose your lose the definition. And that's why a lot of us rescribe stuff, because one, it's either too shallow and the detail is going to get buried, or the detail itself is wrong. Dang, that's a big yawn. But you can also keep doing this. You can repeat this over and over and over, and it will remove enough plastic to where you can have a functioning trunk and hood. And I knew that was a question when somebody had asked about opening parts. And you just keep scribing until it pops through, and you know. And the best thing about this is if you make this here, it's got a fine tip, and then if something happens to it, you just cut off another pinhead and put in there. You know, you don't have to lose your scriber, you know, because it will go dull. And let me show you. The more you do it, it will create a line on the back side of here. And then that's when you know you're about to go through. I'm going to show you guys with the knife. It removes it faster, but you get less control, and you break the tip and everything. And so here, see if you can't see here, and you see where it's poking through there at the bottom. That's when you know you're coming through. And then now you guys can see, after working the seam, see this seam here that we've been working on versus this seam. That's the benefit of doing scribing. It helps give that definition to the opening. Plus, if you keep going, you can actually cut through, and that's one way to remove a part without damaging either the body or the part. Yeah, the thread part though, Butch, is it breaks a lot, and it's a friction. It's basically like you're melting the plastic away. Um, so I would use caution on that, but yeah, but I've never used it myself. All right, guys, I'm gonna tilt the camera in another direction, and I'm gonna be able to read and see some of your guys' questions here. All right, I'm gonna go back to the top, guys, and see what you guys are all doing here. Again, thank you guys all for joining. It looks like you guys had a lot of conversations. I'm gonna go back through here. Um, Mark says hello. John says hi, guys. Doug is here. Hello, Doug. Doug, in your picture there, what kind of car is that? I can't see. It's really small. Um, looks like Dave's Models has subscribed to John Pohl. Good morning, Anthony. Um, Sheldon is here. Good morning, Sheldon. Clifton, thank you guys. Ryan from See No Evil Builds. Taylor from Two Talls here. Pedro Morales, he is the owner and operator, guys, of ScaleWorld.net. Great provider on my bench. Great friend and a great promoter of the hobby. You guys need to spend some time over there at ScaledWorld.net. You see me talk about him a lot, and he truly is a great part of the hobby. He is a really, really true friend. So you guys show him some support. See, we got Clifton. Jay Smith, thank you for joining, sir. Mark Sprue Surgeon. And Mark has said, let's see what we got here. Yes, Taylor, it's an 83 Cutlass. I'm going to finish my Cutlass build next. I have to strip the paint though. I didn't wait long enough for the primer to dry, and the base coat turned out like crap. Yeah, sometimes that happens, but Clifton says, I opened a trunk on my 65 GTO to practice the hinging. Yep, there you go, Clifton. Practice. The only failure you can do is not practicing enough to make your own perfection in it, guys. It gets aggravating, it gets frustrating, but just don't give up on it. Keep trying it. And Taylor says, I'm replicating a friend of mine's drag car. So far, everything but the paint is going good. Jay Smith, Minnie, do you have plans on getting the Ming F350? Not at this time, Jay. I just can't afford that kit right now. So that's one I've had to pass on. And like Sheldon says, always look for items that you can find feasible use for on your bench. I've grown up using telephone line, getting this kind of wire and stuff from Radio Shack when I can find it. It's good battery wire, distributor wire. You can tell I've had that one there for years. Yeah, the Postal Service sucks, Mark. Doug says, I'm hoping to get my model cars out to photo some of my work, but I have not built anything in 5 years. Yeah, I would like to see what you can build. It's easy to take part in this YouTube community, Doug. Past or present builds, I would love to see both of them. And then Postal Service, yeah. Taylor says he's been to a few hangouts with Gil and Jen. For some reason, I can't get into the ISM off-air ones. Yeah, the ISM off-air ones, Taylor, they're hard to get into. They're so popular. They have so many followers. And they really do make you feel like family. And so a lot of those guys, it's a very strong brotherhood. And once that link goes up, they get in there to enjoy each other. That's how, we can communicate across the world. You have Brett, Les, myself, from the U.S. that join in. Then you have Yuval, he's from Israel. Mark, the Spruce Surgeon, he gets in there. It's a worldwide thing, So that's what's great. Not only are they just a channel, a web page, they're family. You build a relationship with these guys, and they're just like your brothers, man. And it's going to be hard to get into a live hangout when they only let 10 people get in. And then see. Yeah, that trailer and the truck we were talking about, Brett's review today. And then, like Clifton said, go over everybody's picture in the conversation, and you can subscribe to everybody's channel. Thanks, Clifton. Clifton said he'll follow channels no matter how long. Okay. When Mark says that the connection was keep dropping it for him and Pete, and he says, don't worry, guys. Once the live show comes up, you really don't miss anything. You just have to rewatch the videos. Thank you, Doug. Thanks, Mark. Mark said, Minnie, you're great, doing a lot for the hobby. I recommended your channel on one of my reviews as to go-to guy for all automotive things. Mark, I make them look good. I might not make them look right. When you get builders like me, Sheldon, Ryan over there at See No Evil Builds, Sheldon is more old school correct. He thrives on attention to detail. No sense of not putting it in there if it's not right. Me and Ryan, we're more modern builders, so we do our detailing a little bit different. So that's why I suggest you guys follow a lot of channels, and then you build your own assumption on who you want to call the best or follow. But for the most part, guys, I try to get along with everybody, and I try to support everybody. But we've been on here for an hour. I showed you guys the scribing this week. I showed you guys how to do the hood hinge on the molded in stuff. Next week, I think we'll look into maybe do the whole removal of a body part and cleaning up, maybe. Yeah, bad habits, Ryan. You're right. Well, the bad habits that we get into. Hello, Josh. Josh is here. You're welcome, Doug. I want to thank you guys for following me and supporting me. Let me do a shout out for Ken over there at Badger. Right now they're running a sale. Go over to webairbrushes.com. They have a promo code. I won't say that on air. They have a promo code over there. And right now, they're running one heck of a good sale. Thanks, George. I was going to try to get you in over here so that way I could get your input as I was doing it, brother. But I don't know how to do that where we both can be on here at the same time. I'm a model man, not a not a IT man. So, yeah, get over there to Web Airbrushes. If you're in the market for a new airbrush, if you're in the market for primers, these are the primers by Badger. It's the same stuff that UMP has. I have the first 6 set. I brush paint with this stuff. It is great primer on my figures. Here's the green. Here's their green that they have. I've done interiors with this. And then I did my King Troll is based with my King Troll, so you get it. Come on, focus. This King Troll is based with that green primer, and then I just went over with some washes and some other stuff. But go over there to Web Airbrushes, and they having one hell of a sale. You can't use Gil's promo code for this sale, but they have one hell of a promo code right now. So get over there and get yourself stocked up with all your airbrush and supply needs. They have a lot of guys have been buying the Minotaur paints. I really like the Stino Res UMP primer. So just go over there and check that out. And we'll see you guys all next Thursday and Tuesday for my bench talk and just whatnot. You guys have a great day. And I wish the comments you guys left now would work once I take the show down, but it don't. So I'm going to read through here one last time. Yeah, Sheldon rocks on the old school stuff. He was mentioning yesterday on his video that he's had some items that ain't getting much interest over there. So he's going to scale back on some of the stuff he makes and refine some of the stuff that is selling to give us more options. So, you know. Alright, cool, George. You got to watch the whole thing. Alright. Well, thanks, Beware. Yes, check it out later. I'm going to sub to your channel too, bud. Thank you. Beware99. Alright. You guys see that? That would be a new follower for me. You guys go over to Beware99's channel. Give him a sub. Let's show him some support. And then, again, guys, don't forget to check out the UMP. That's where they have all my sanding sticks, the little tape that you've seen. They have a line of washes, primers. They just got some kits. You got to go over there and check out what all they have. They ship worldwide, plus you get treats. InternationalScaleModeler.com. Go check out that web page. Go check out their Facebook page. And then ScaleWorld.net. Go over there and check these guys out. He posts a lot of our work. He shares a lot of stuff within the community. So, that's it. You guys have a great one. And thank you all for following.